Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Animal Crossing New Horizons?
I really, 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 really want Animal Crossing New Horizons. Hey, welcome to Rhythm Cafe, everybody, where the Spice Girls are not here, but instead you've got me.
Oh, right. That's a Spice Girls thing.
It was,
I ignored a lot of that when that was popular for my age group.
I mean, like, that might be the only thing I know about them. About
I know some of the songs that were child-friendly versions.
Oh,
You know, If You Want to Be My Brother, Take Me by the Hand.
No, I'd never heard that one. Wow.
Oh, but it was so funny.
If you want to be my brother, you gotta take me by the hand.
I mean, I don't know what the other lyrics were. I don't know what they changed otherwise.
Everything else is dangerous. Satan's in my pants.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that version. I don't think they would have sold that at the Christian music store that I was allowed to buy music from.
Despite being Christian musically accurate, not for sale. Gotta go behind the counter for that one. Hey, you know what we don't do here on
What do we not do? There's a long list of things we don't do, Ian.
Well, let's start.
Is it longer or shorter than the list of things we do?
I mean, it depends on the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because for example, this week, we're returning to some sort of school of KFC, pizza, and
Burritos.
Yes, Mexican food.
Those are the three schools we decided upon.
Well, 3 sections of the same school, which is in fact a
Right.
music school. And then,
For deep frying.
as you can hear throughout the city that never stops being wet, which is dangerous because there are deep fryers running everywhere.
Forgot we did that.
Did
Did you watch the new highlights?
I did.
Yeah.
I was glad that I did because it reminded me of a few things.
That happened.
Yeah, we
that
really
needed to remember
We've got a lot of canon we're laying down
for
here,
continuity.
and it's gonna be a real slog to remember everything, but we're gonna do it.
We would not want to ruin the continuity of lore we have
No, exactly.
expanded upon.
Always say yes. Got my drink today, which is a black tea with the smoke of pine needles.
Oh, that's the writer's something?
Yeah, Writer's Fuel, I think.
Yeah,
Which is,
I saw that on the shelf recently.
Opposite to Writer's Tears, and boy, does it smell like pine needle smoke.
I'm just done with the matcha.
Just done with it.
Oh, it'll melt and soon it'll be water. Slightly flavored memories of a different drink, water.
I really, I never liked the mixing of water and milk. There's just something about it that seems to me to be wrong. So whenever you get ice melting into a milky beverage, I'm like, no.
I guess, whenever I make hot chocolate, I make it with mostly hot water and then a little bit of milk to help cool it down, but also make it hot, because I've never done like the heat the milk up and then mix it.
Like I've heard the secret tech is just straight milk in your hot chocolate. And that's the,
Yeah. Beach prefers to put the milk in and then microwave it, which I'm not so hot on. He also will take tea that's gotten cold and throw it in the microwave, and I swear it tastes different, so I refuse to drink it.
Oh, it absolutely tastes
and
different.
Sometimes he'll be like, hey, do you want me to make you some more tea? And I'm like, sure. And then he'll take the cold tea and put it in the microwave and give it to me, and I'm like,
That's
dude,
not
I
what
can
you said.
smell that this is different. I'll go make my own tea now.
But yeah, no, milk in the microwave is just a recipe for a boil over. I've done
enough.
it too many times.
This is all very relevant because this is a cafe.
Extremely.
It's the Rhythm Cafe.
And one of us has to lean forward and push that button.
So who's gonna crack first?
It'll be me.
It's gonna be Ian.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, I win.
I have a slight sense of
Are
responsibility.
you gonna also we gotta also change the seats so
Sure,
people
why
can
not?
see?
We'll put us.
Here, I'll push the button that lets the music of the game happen.
I will put baby in the corner, and we will load from 11/29. Let's remember the leap day, because every 24 years they
Oh, good.
they do all their leap hours at once.
That's game time.
Yep.
Right.
Oh. Okay, good. The second one is game time, right?
The second one is the real world time. Ah.
I'm not sure. Okay, right. Just throw us right back into it, don't you? What does that Pioya down at the bottom mean, do you think? Piova? Piova?
Piova?
Is it like a 3.14 only video animation?
Well, we are playing a dating game, So maybe that's just how well we're dating
That wouldn't make
in our non-date.
sense in a weird way.
I mean, I've played dating games that have literal car gauges show up to show you if you're in the thing. Some do bar graphs. Some are just like, no, everything is hidden and you better watch for the secret things.
I mean, that's real life, okay? That's hard mode, but also real life. Life would
But
be...
I don't play video games for real life.
No, exactly.
So
Honestly, it'd be a lot easier if people had a little bar underneath them so you could tell.
if we're gonna have video games doing things where thing is more like real life, then I demand real life involve more bar graphs when I interact with people.
Yes, please.
Just one or the other.
No, bar graphs and dialogue trees.
Ooh.
But as long as they're
Visible dialogue trees.
as long as they're like Mass Effect dialogue trees where you say what you say, and not like Yakuza where you say what is completely opposite of what you mean.
What I really want is that fast forward feature that shows up in visual novels.
Yes.
That's like, oh, you've done this conversation before. Fast forward until you hit new dialogue.
Oh god, or
That would-
trees portion.
Oh, that'd save a
Oh
lot of
my
time
God.
within a lot of conversations that I have.
This show would be so short.
We are repetitive, but rhythm games kind of are.
It's true. It's
It's on theme,
one of 5 options.
on brand.
Yep.
You put us in the wrong corner.
Is that really a
I think we
problem?
were in the other corner last
but-
time. That's not a corner.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I can use those buttons with impunity. Axian don't care about where we are. Look at me! I'm all over the place. Hold on.
Did you break it?
No, that booth. That is
It's
booth.
fine.
Okay. Yeah.
You
right.
had it. You
left,
have it.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. I thought I'd broken it.
All right, back to the beginning. Yeah, the beginning.
Now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Batman, begin.
Well, I'll have to find a small bird for this out in the rain, which may be difficult.
I guess you finished. That would have been the perfect time to do another game section.
I guess, yeah, this might have been a much better place to pause. Oh well. I'd have to look forward to a partner again today. Perhaps a robin this time, to get the worm. And as I was thinking, the tortilla spoke at me in the middle of eating her packed lunch.
Hey, remember me?
Right, you're that girl who's a tortilla. Or a tortilla who's a girl.
I mean, I also said this yesterday, but you want me to help you look for candidates to be your partner? You want me to help you find Robin?
I think it's important for us to have not just a candidacy, but we need to have a primary and some caucuses. But today's Tuesday, right? That's a Super Tuesday. That's when many schools get together and hold their primaries for candidates all at once. Torta always sent home on Tuesdays and Thursdays, saying that she had plans.
Is it Tuesday and Thursday when part of one of the days we could meet with what's-her-face at the location she told us about that I can't remember?
Boy, you sure do remember things about this game that I've already forgotten. I didn't know what she did, but it's not like it was my place to pry. Reason being that I was afraid of her. Anyone who can consider themselves a tortilla, as well as a human being, had a high level of self-actualization. And that's why I was still choosing my words carefully, so as not to anger the flower girl.
Like, if you can have someone named PETA in the 100 Games, you can have someone named Tortilla in this game.
Oh my god, he was a baker too! I just put that together. Fuck!
It can't be helped at a time like this that it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday.
So, you decide before I finish eating, because otherwise I'm just gonna go home after I'm done eating, of course.
Why wouldn't you just go home to eat then? You could have a nice hot lunch as opposed to this cold pack lunch that you're eating.
Because I've already poured the risotto again onto the table like I did last time. Not really learning, but that's part of my charm.
It's true. Somehow you've also managed to make a sandwich out of that risotto. Or maybe you just call it a sandwich.
Well, the secret is, I figured if I brought some bread and pushed the risotto in between, it would be cleaner.
Really?
I still don't know why I just jumped it on the table, though.
Now then, about that risotto. What to do? Turns out that you don't even need bread to make a sandwich. As long as the filling is between two different things, like your hands, you can call that a sandwich.
Oh, right, you are in the KFC school, so you know about the 2 donuts and the chicken.
It's right. 2 pieces of chicken are 2 pieces of meat. And what are your hands but 2 pieces of meat with bones inside?
I prefer the boneless option.
Those do carry the eggs the best.
It's really weird on your hands when you choose the boneless option, but
They all go wavy.
they're very soft that way.
Have you ever flapped a spoon or perhaps a pencil in front of your face and watched it go all wiggly? It's the same thing with your hands.
I mean, we all have. It's a very popular middle school pastime to wiggle a pencil in front of your face for several hours at a time.
It's true. Usually during mathematics class.
It is the optimal time to do that. It's also one of the only classes we're allowed pencils.
It's true. Everything else needs to be done in pen. Only math may be undone. Everything else is set in stone. So Heather, give me a number between 1 and 4.
3. I'll give you a real number.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. I saw Torta out of the cafeteria and remained there myself so I could lap up the rest of her risotto in peace. Risotto had lessons with Miss Cordell and took her classes straight after me, after the lunch break. I should mention that risotto on the table and risotto the person are 2 different things. I was eating the table risotto, not the floor risotto, which is the girl. I decided to kill some time in the cafeteria and then headed to the classrooms.
So you, walked outside, and then we're like, not raining, went back in.
I had to make sure that Torta wasn't coming back before I ate her risotto. It was about 5 minutes before the 3rd period lessons ended, and there was no one in the hallways, like usual. I stood in front of the room I had just had a lesson in, and killed a little time again looking at the music.
So much death to time.
Extremely violent.
Especially when it's going so slowly. Always.
Some people save up their leap seconds in a jar for 24 years later. Me, I kill them before they have a chance to feel. I heard Asano's voice, and then closed the music and raised my head.
クリスか
Yeah.
どうかしたのか
What you doing here?
Well,
珍しいなとはいえ
Were you
俺
waiting
は待ってた
for
わ
me?
けでもないんだろ
Your teacher's inside if you weren't waiting for me.
I have no reason to be waiting for you.
それは
Oh, I
本当
mean,
に珍しいな
that hurts.
I'm sorry, but other than Torta, Asano was my only good friend.
That's why it hurts.
This is how I treat my good friends. I have to push people away so that they won't get too close. If someone gets too close to me, they could end up getting burned in the fryers. I could see him anytime I wanted, but sometimes I didn't see him for over a week. I detest myself sometimes like that. Really tells me if the friendship's strong enough or not. Of course, if we just happen to meet, well, I mean, then we'd go for a meal together. Maybe go see a movie, and then who knows what would happen. But today wasn't going to be a chance meeting. I made sure to have this meeting on my terms. I wanted to ask you a favor.
俺にか
Really?
分かった
Well,
長くなるんだったら
I mean,
どこか落ち着ける場所にでも行くか
Sure. Want to go somewhere though?
Absolutely not. We need to be seen in public so as to not arouse suspicion. Asano replied with his usual twitch of the lips grin and started walking.
もしもし
Yo.
あ先生
Oh no, she spotted us.
Afternoon is the time that it is, and I relayed that information to the people I knew didn't wear watches. Miss Cordell leaned on the open door and looked at us. She must have been tired.
パートナーの相談か
You hanging out?
No, not at all. I mean, yes.
なんだクリスもまだ決まってなかったのか
Oh, Chris. You haven't made life decisions with a partner yet?
I mean, it's all so sudden. I've got so much of my life left.
どちらもまだだな。
Well, it appears you both need to find partners. Hint, hint.
The professor said this evenly, neither angrily nor sympathetically, just very slowly, looking us directly in the eyes in tandem as she said it.
とはいえ
I
俺の方は一応
mean,
候補がいるんで
I've got somebody in mind. You don't have to compare me to Batman here.
You're not the only one with a candidate, but your arms are looking a little thin now that I look at them.
トルティニタだろ
Oh, tortilla?
Yeah, what's wrong with the tortilla girl?
もちろん
I
悪くはない
mean, nothing really.
She's white, she's flat, and she can hold so many beans.
If you ask me, you're both being dumb about this.
それは
I mean, that's true, but
Look, I have my reasons, you have yours, but if there's no point in being in the same... What?
決めつけるなって
what do you mean? But there's no point.
とにかく
Would you
見つけ
two
よう
just
として
figure
い
it
る意
out?
志だけ
クリスだけですか
I mean, you're only saying that to Batman, though, right? Not to me.
ア
I'm
ーシャの
perfect.
場合候補の名前も聞いていないからね
No, also talking to you.
決まったら言いますよ
I'll tell you when I'm good and ready.
あ
Uh-huh. Yeah,
あ
sure.
だから心配はしていない
Don't believe you.
Why are you both looking directly at me?
あ
Yes, I am looking directly at you.
It's kind of creepy. That smug look.
My half
よかっ
glasses.
たな
My
クリス
1/4 glasses. Must be nice having 1/4 glasses.
とにかく
Anyway,
When I glared at Asino for being sarcastic, the professor raised her voice in reproach.
何もしないよりは
as
何か
long
を
as
し
you
て
guys
い
are
た方
doing
がいい
something,
言い訳になる
anything, I guess, at least that's more than nothing.
More than nothing to you, Professor. But to me, it's everything.
自分に対しても
Fine, you keep doing whatever you can do.
I'll do it to myself. Miss Cordell smiled lightly at the implication that I'd be doing things to myself later and walked back to the teacher's room to prepare for the next lesson.
というわけで
So anyway, before we were rudely interrupted,
Correct. Asino used the opportunity to segue back to the original subject. I didn't know you could have vehicles inside the hallway like that, but it was kind of cool seeing him ride.
explains why they can shift back and forth so smoothly.
付き合ってやることにするよ
I am also worried about you not having a Robin.
Yeah, well, one day, maybe I'll get that pet bird. After what Miss Cordell said to me, I couldn't very well refuse the offer of a free pet. I was already planning to ask for it for my birthday anyway. I noted to show my gratitude and decided to let Asino choose what to do next.
じゃあとりあえず行こ
Alright, we ride!
Yeah, but you're the only one with the Segway. What am I supposed to do?
うか妥当なところで
Sit on my shoulders and
チェラ
ride!
クロだろ
But if I sit on your shoulders, you'll get wet.
だからだよ
Actually, you're more likely to get wet, and I'm more likely to keep dry if you sit on my shoulders.
I have a surprise for you. I had a surprise for Asino, and I decided to wait until we got outside in the second hall. When I went there last time, they'd been made painfully aware what happens if you go outside without one of the illegal umbrellas. And I was about to meet Miss Val, so I couldn't say if it would be a complete failure or not. Also, being with Asino, who was good with most people, would make things different, right? Well, alright. I mumbled this to myself, and I followed him. I probably should have let him know that I was affirmative in his questions. In the room were a few students who seemed to be third years like myself playing something improvised, but they were standing behind me so I couldn't see.
But remember, you can't see them because they're all ghosts. That was our...
That's right.
We established that last
That's
episode.
right, I forgot. First and second years would still be in class this time, so I probably wasn't wrong. They must have noticed something in her as they stopped playing right away and floated up towards the ceiling.
あらアーシの
Oh, it's you! What's up?
ちょっとね。ところで君は声楽
Are you a voice student? You're only speaking. Oh, what are you talking about? I'm a piano student. This is the piano, not a dead giveaway.
姿だけでなく歌声も美しそう
You
に見
just
える
pretty voice.
She probably didn't take the joke seriously, because what kind of a joke is that? But she smiled and forgave her mistake. As Asuna carried on flirting with the ghosts, I remained leaning against the wall, being very cool. At some point, he said, although he was registered as a Fortel student, he really wanted to be a friar. That may have been why Asuna was able to use the sweet talk so shamelessly. And people seemed to like it. So you could call it a talent.
声楽科の子は今日はたくさん来そうだ
Yeah, you think there'll be other voice students today?
そうね
I mean,
私の友達が後で来るって言ってた
probably.
よ
You are in the voice student section.
マーシノってまだ
残念ながらねとはいえ
Alright, cool. We will find a Robin.
そうなの
Really?
まとにかく
I mean, no
そ
one
の
can
子た
stop
ちが
me.
来るまで待たせてもらおうかな
Right.
Right. Asuna waved goodbye to the ghost and then walked over to me.
おいクリスやる気はあるのか
Chris, what do you want to do?
I think it's time to bust some ghosts.
何しに来たんだよ
What are we here for?
To bust ghosts.
まあいいか
Yeah, but there's
どの
a
みち
song
声楽科の子
that
が来
goes
ない
with that.
が話にならないし
You know, we want to
ちな
kill
みに
some
俺は
time
適当に
and
時間
kill
を
it with
潰す
music.
よ
That is what we do here in this school when we're not learning to cook things with pressure fryers.
分かったそれらしい子が来たらお前も
Well,
積極
if
的に
someone
話しか
named
け
Bill
ろ
shows up, don't talk to them, okay?
Will do. I mean, Bill don't. I put my back up against the wall so that Bill couldn't sneak up on me. More time passed. Senecolo is a word that I learned just right now to pronounce after reading it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, do you like the word Senecolo?
It's a new word. I'm not really sure what it means. Is it just fancy for music room?
We'll find out as soon as I say
君
something.
に壁の花は似合わない
Hey, Batman. You look real cool leaning against that wall.
Yeah? He said the same words that I'd been thinking in my head about myself. I thought it was nostalgic to be hearing words that I said to myself in my head come from a different person at a later time. Why don't you use that line on the girls?
いやそれはもう飽きた
Nah, they don't look cool when they lean against the wall like you do.
Why is it cool when I do it when a girl isn't when a girl does it?
そういうこと
I mean, think about it.
I thought about it for a second, and then discarded the thought. Then his face turned serious. He must have been thinking about something different too.
今日はどうする
What is it that you really want to do today?
Well, you brought me here, but this kind of place doesn't suit me.
それもそうだなじゃあ行くか
You want to go hang out somewhere else then? Maybe down by the pool hall?
Wait, you're gonna ask me out to the pool hall? Just like that?
まだ
Yeah, well, I mean, why don't we start by going outside first?
That's the wet place.
It's the city of rain, it's always wet.
We should shut the doors so the ghosts couldn't escape. And Asuna started talking as we walked. He's very talented.
You're wondering why I suggested we go down to the pool hall.
I'm actually more wondering how you're able to walk and talk at the same time. I only know one other person who has that skill.
今日は自分のために来たわけじゃないからな
It took a lot of training in my ninja village.
Wait, you're a ninja?
いや悪くはない
Yep.
But I wasn't even looking very seriously at your outfit. I can tell now.
少しは探してたんだろ
Yeah, I know you looked.
I mean, it is a little evident. By little, I mean that I've been staring at his calves all morning, and realized that only a ninja could have those calves, despite spending all his time on a Segway.
だろ
Right? The Segway's just a distraction, because that way nobody knows for sure.
And because it's silent, it means you can sneak up on people real quick.
いろんな意味だな
In a lot of ways. Personally and musically.
That's the weirdest double entendre I've ever heard. We strolled around the campus, but I was still confused by what he meant by musically. But I stopped wondering just outside of campus. Asano walked brazenly through the misty rain, as if the wetness wouldn't be felt by him at all. I found myself frowning, but that's generally how I am these days.
早く来いよ雨なんて珍し
You
く
know,
な
if
い
you
だろ
hurry up, you can actually dodge between all the raindrops. No one needs umbrellas.
I thought the Mythbusters proved that to be impossible.
そんなこと言ったって傘なんか
I mean, that's what they want you to think.
It's true, they didn't use a ninja in any of their tests. Even though we all know that Jamie Heineman is a ninja.
子供なんだ
Exactly.
You'd think that the other one would be the ninja, but he's far too flamboyant. I ran to catch up with him, but then realized that with just a little training, I could become a ninja as well.
お前はいざとなったら取り
I
組み
mean,
方でも組めばいいんだし
You could pair up with Tortilla. But you could also pair up with me. I think. I hope. Man, I really want him to be a dating option just because I think that'd be fun.
A tortilla and a Batman. That would be a Batilla.
Or Torat.
Or Torat. Interesting. With Asino, I'd just be a Batsino. Or an Asino Bat. That doesn't make any sense. I couldn't get very excited about that option. And again, I really wasn't looking forward to either of the options.
Yeah, it's certainly raining.
Is your forehead getting wet? The conversation had tapered off, and I decided to pick it up by asking him if his forehead was wet. I could tell that it wasn't.
Oh, I mean, almost, but I dodged that just barely.
That must be why you normally wear a forehead protector, to protect it against the rain.
そういうんじゃない
Usually, but I did have to. It was laundry day yesterday, and I forgot to take it out.
Yeah, you really need to take some time washing those forehead protectors by hand. The cloth needs to get wet with the detergent, but the metal needs to stay dry, or else it'll rust.
女の子
Are we talking about girls?
Don't they also get rusty if they get wet?
Oh,
wait.
that's why they're never outside.
何が
How so?
Well, I met this one girl yesterday, but she was using an illegal method to keep herself from getting wet. But she must have been very good at it because I didn't see a drop of rust on her.
みんな楽しんで
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Really is. When you can move around without rust, that's you can move smooth and quietly.
焼いてるのか
Are you jealous?
My joints are full of rust. You can hear me coming from a mile away, of course.
女の子にだよ
Ah, so you need ninja lessons.
Correct.
クリスかわいいね
You're real cute, Chris.
I hope you're a dating option too, Asino. Hey,
はいはいそろそろ
Well, wanna go home?
that's moving things a little bit quick. Oh, you mean different homes? Yeah, okay. I retorted and then slapped him for being fresh.
じゃあ大通りまで
Let's walk together, but just as far as the main road.
In the end, Asino ignored my continued advances, and he remained in a good mood.
そうだクリス
Hey,
これから特に用事がな
if
け
you
れば
don't have any
一緒に晩
plans,
ご飯でもどうだ
dinner?
Okay, Chris. I mean, Asino, I'm really beginning to wonder, are you coming on to me or not? I just want you to be straight with me. I always made my own dinner because otherwise it might be poisoned. You can never be too careful. In this city, everyone's an amateur chef and they don't necessarily know how long to fry chicken all the time. But I know. Because I paid my tuition. And that meant I was going to get a degree. And when you have a degree, that means you know how to cook food.
I mean, the show we have made up is basically the railgun version of Yakutate.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So it's a pretty easy life to live without putting too much strain on my dead parents. But the fact remained I was still burdened by my parents' death to some extent. So I made sure I didn't waste too much of my tremendous fortune. Where do you want to go? Asno lived in a city with his family because his parents were still alive. That's what it means to have a family. I always turned him down because he had a family, and it might be difficult for me. I didn't want to cry him in front of him with this voice. But Asano knew that, so he usually didn't invite me to eat at those kinds of places. Family restaurants.
I found a really nice trattoria. And it's definitely not family friendly.
I see. I didn't know you were into tattoos, but I guess I couldn't tell because you're always wearing such long sleeve clothing. A trattoria is like a cafeteria and a tattoo parlor mixed into one. You can get a hamburger and a tattoo of a hamburger at the same time. If you wanted the full combo, you'd get a burger with a tattoo of fries and a drink, and they'd refill it.
The tattoo. They refill the tattoo.
But only on the same visit. If you left, you had to get a different drink of a tattoo of a drink. If you got a drink of a tattoo, well, that was kind of disgusting, but they did allow that.
Yeah, it's in the old district, so it's even close to your place.
Oh, that's why it's not subject to the new laws. I didn't know there was a tattoo that close to my apartment. I don't eat out much, you see.
Something wrong?
Well, I don't know, it's just unusual for you to take me somewhere nice.
Well, a friend took me there. I really liked it. Want to share it with you.
Ah. The sign of the shop that Asno taught me to said Colbert, and I assumed that it was a misspelling of Colbert.
It is. Colbert is the tattoo artist who is on staff.
Wow.
He's very good. Very good. He's great at doing burgers and fries and tattoos. Don't ask for the chicken from him though. That is much more somebody else's job.
Asno told me about all the options that I could eat here. The ones that were the job of the parody owner, and the one that was the job of someone else.
So, what are you gonna have, Chris?
I thought about what I should have, and then I said, anything, just whatever. I'm flexible. I'm Batman.
Alright. He'll have the burger and the tattoo of Totoro.
Yeah, I do like Totoro.
That's good. I will also have the same, except instead of the Totoro tattoo, I want one of the little dust mites.
A simple tattoo made up of tattoos of pasta and peppers. It's funny that you can just one piece of spaghetti looks like a spaghetti. But if you take 14 pieces of spaghetti, make them black and put some eyes on them, they magically turn into a soot monster.
Yes. The spaghetti course. The saucy strands are there if you want them.
But Asano knew all that already and shrugged his shoulders teasingly. The tattoo artist couldn't resist his blank palette.
So, about you having a partner.
Asano talked while I was eating the food that had been brought to him. and winced a bit at the tattoo gun against his back. The flavor was so great that even Asuna liked it, and the pain was so mild that he didn't cry at all.
トルティニタじゃないのか
It's not tortilla, is it?
God, why does everyone want me to roll up in a burrito with torta?
それが自然だから
Well,
な
because you're always hanging around her.
It's been one day.
それにお前が
Yes, but the world's only been around for one day, so that's like always.
It's a good point. We die every time that this stream ends, and we live again every Sunday at 4 Pacific. Remember that it's 4 Pacific daylight time, so it might be an hour ahead of where you are.
トルティニタに脅されてるんだよ
Tortilla's been on my case. She wants me to partner up with her.
A briefcase is no place for a tortilla. I could see a bread box, but most people don't walk around with those in this city.
口では言わないけどな
I mean, she hasn't actually said that's what she wants to do, but I can tell.
It is written all over her face. Literally, she's very bad at makeup.
まあそれはどうでもいいんだ
I
な
mean, that Sharpie that literally writes out, please be my partner, didn't help.
And the one that says, I'm a bread box.
理由は何だ
Put bread in me.
So, again, you gonna partner up with Tortilla or not?
The reason I won't pair up with tortilla
俺には思いつかないん
Yeah,
だね
tell me.
is because tortillas, they tend to dry out a bit.
もちろん
I mean, I'm just curious. It's not like I want you to pair up with me, even though I probably do.
Can you stay flexible after 2 days of being left out on the counter? That's important to me. I need someone that I can ignore for about a week and then still become a burrito on Sunday.
ありえん
You know, I can be flexible all year long if you
お
want.
前にはトルティニタの方が似合う
You wouldn't understand. Asno, being flexible is one thing, but you also have to contain the pressure of being.
大丈夫じゃない
Beans are my weakness, but I think I could handle it.
お前のことだから好きにすればいいさ
As long as is that okay?
Well, if you keep taking me out for pasta and tattoos, this could be a life I could get used to.
Forgot we were in a tattoo cast. I worry.
So do I sometimes, but to be honest, if they sterilize their needle enough, you won't get any diseases here. At least not from that side.
当たり前だ
Ah, good point.
誰がお前の心配してるって言った
It's a very good point.
Yeah, I do make some good points. Just like the tattoo gun makes against your back. I was used to Asno talking like this. He was truly worried about me, but he kept paying for lunch, so I kept going. If he was really asking to be my partner, he was really good at acting serious. In the end, that must have been what he wanted to talk about all this time. But how could I tell? Was this a spoiler for the very end? Or just for this end? In the end being a turn of phrase. After we finished eating, I went to the post box where I mailed letters. And then I went home. I'm home, I explained when I got home.
おかえ
Hello, welcome home. You're late.
I ate out.
りあそうなんだ
Oh, without me, huh?
Well, the restaurant and tattoo parlor that I was taking to was good. But I thought something was strange about Asno's attitude. I wondered why he was so worried.
相手はアーシの
Were you with Asino?
Are you jealous? Then I told Forna about my day, as always, to make her more jealous. And so this day too, I announced it ends, with no real result to show for it. The end.
That's how some of my days end too. Well, day over. Nothing to do but go to sleep.
My lesson with Miss Cordell was over. Again. Somehow I woke up in the lunchroom. I guess after last night's tattoo bender, I blacked out and went out to practice. Up till now, the day would have been pretty much over at this point. Apparently, I just missed the entire day.
今日はこれからどう
Hey,
す
what are you gonna do today?
Jesus Christ, where did you come from? Where did you come from?
そっか
I'm always standing
私で
just
よければ
behind you out of your field of view.
Like I do for the ghosts, usually. So what to do?
And now we can only go to 3 places.
That's the first number I can see is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the cafeteria. So, Tortilla, can I ask for your help today?
Yeah.
よ
Tortilla stood up immediately as she cleared away her empty lunchbox. The risotto made a slapping sound as it sailed across the air and onto the floor.
I can't get a good slap sound out of my hands.
Ooh, do you need a tea bag for it?
I just can't. I think my hands are just too dry.
Ooh, here we go. You need a good wet slapping sound. Yeah, and...
Alright, I'm gonna ask people.
Cool.
クリスにないのはよくわかってる
I know that you know nobody, but I will show you everybody.
All right. You can show me the world.
まず
Okay. First, who do I know first? Oh, there's this person named Bright.
Well, she doesn't sound shining, shimmering, splendid. When are you going to ask me to let my heart decide?
I mean, I thought maybe you'd want to actually meet them first, and then after you meet all of the people, then I could say something encouraging, like let your heart decide.
Oh. I thought that it was going to be a musical number, but then Torta got me into some sort of conversation with other people and then stopped listening to me.
あら
Oops.
知らない人だ
No music here.
次
Maybe here in this closet is where we're hiding the music.
Somewhere around this building there should be music. It is a music school anyway. Unless it's a metaphor, and the school is made of music.
ちょっと待ってね
Music doesn't make a good building material.
A male student came out after a bit, perhaps noticing that we had no mail.
Well, this isn't a tortilla.
こんにちは
Hello.
She was being pretty forceful with her hellos, but the student didn't seem to mind. In fact, he looked like he could use a little bit of more of a hello.
What do you want?
それなんだけど
Tortilla turned back with a smile and started to introduce me to the male student. I knew I needed to introduce myself at that point because I'd put so many things in the mail. But I just couldn't get up the spirit and instead merely nodded my head slightly.
クリス
Okay. Chris, you gonna say anything? Wasn't talking to you.
I put things in your box.
Anyway. Swish. Swish.
いきなりでごめんね
Oh, I'm sorry. This is so sudden. No, I should apologize. I shouldn't hang around
ク
boxes.
リス
Chris?
Sorry, I just get a little bit excited when I hear about the mail. Of course, this student wouldn't turn me in. I knew, though, that more than half the responsibility for the mail lay with me. Mail doesn't exist unless mail is made. but it's not mail until mail gets delivered. It's part of a yin-yang situation.
わざと
Are you doing this on purpose?
It's important. We all need to understand how the mail works, Tortilla. It wasn't any that difficult to imagine, but for some reason, I had to get this information through to Tortilla so that people could see my face and I could hold it high. Of course, I knew that I was the one with the knowledge here. I was the teacher this time, and I was going to give the lesson.
もう本当に不愛想なんだから
You are so
そんなんだから友
unsociable.
達ほとんどいない
No
の
wonder you don't have friends.
I thought it was because I was Batman. Of course, I didn't need to deny I was Batman. Having a secret identity was one of those things that other people did. Me, I was just Batman all the time now. I didn't think I could be more friendly. I wasn't dissatisfied with the situation.
次行くけど
Okay,
今度
we're
は
gonna
ハイセー
move
ブして
on,
るの
but you have to be better at this.
Better at being Batman?
どうしたの
Better at being a human being.
But Batman isn't a human being. Batman is the knight.
でも
Fine,
心
then
が
be
話
better
した
at being the
じゃない
knight.
クリスがそんな
Stop
勉
being
強
a
ずら
stick
して
in the
なけれ
mud.
ばひょっとしたら
No. No way. I'll be the stickiest stick in the mud. It'll be just glop after glop after off of my thin form once you pull it out. Brown and sticky. Like a stick. In the mud. On a rainy day. In the old town. In the rainy city. The city I live in. The city of angels. Or Bedrock. Or really Newtown, as we went that one time to go get tattoos at the tattooery that was run by Stephen Colbert for some reason. However, I wasn't going to use that tattoo to my advantage. I'd already told by Miss Cordell and Torta that people thought I was difficult to get along with, which made it easy for me to keep people away. But as unsuitable as I was for the school, I didn't think I was gonna be unsuitable to the school.
まあ仕方ないといえば仕方ないか
Well, maybe we'll eventually get to move on from this scene.
Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe a little rhythm section too, just, to get some gameplay in here. It is almost 10 minutes to the top of the hour.
でももう少し探してみ
Alright,
よ
let's look around for that gameplay some more. We don't have any prospects right now, but maybe we can find some.
So she already knew where the gameplay was. All I had to do was get through her to those sweet, sweet rhythm elements. Okay.
はい
Yeah,
じゃあ笑顔作
now,
って
wear a mask. I know you can do that.
Is the cowl not enough? It has to be a full face covering?
Not a full one, you could do the half mask of just the eyes if you want, or you could do the bottom half, or one of those fancy anime side halves if you really like.
Ooh, a side mask. I do like that.
一応はね
Let's get going. Ha Yep,
これだったか
no one hiding any gameplay in the cafeteria.
Good work.
また他人事みたいに
It's like you'd think it was someone's job to put it somewhere where I could find it.
Torta began questioning the decisions of the developer of this game. And I began to question them myself.
Well, time for coffee. Or hot cocoa. I don't know.
Don't eat it just yet, it's hot. Also, it's a liquid, so you might not need a spoon. Oh, unless this is one of those cake in a mug situations.
どんな
Yeah,
こと言う
cake in a mug. Ah, it's hot.
And that made you sad. See? I told you you'd be sad with the hot cake in a mug.
Oh.
You should wait for it to cool down a bit before putting it in your mouth. That way you won't get burned.
好きなんだからいいです
But I like it that way.
If you're interested in being burned with hot food, I know a place you could go.
んだ
Whatever.
The drink must have cooled down as Torta brought it to her mouth again, happily this time.
Ah, yes. Tiny sips monitored by a small spoon. The best.
Why do you drink things like they're soup? Torta was happily drinking her drink like it was soup.
Because it's just, like, coffee's just bean soup.
It's a good point. You could even add a third bean to it in the form of vanilla.
You add 3 beans, then it becomes a chili. I think.
Ah, so that's what soy vanilla latte is. Chili for breakfast.
Look, I have to use the spoon because they don't allow straws.
And if you run out of spoon for the day, you die. It must be winter. I said it was winter. I had no idea why I thought this, but it's as good as any one of the other seasons. It's always rainy.
I mean, we have to remind ourselves of the time of year.
That's true. Did you know the climate is very different depending on whether you're in the north or in the south? Whereas here, in the north, when it's winter, it's cold. But in Australia, the winter is hot.
好きなんだからいいでしょ
Yeah, sounds great.
Mixing her mind up with these metaphors seemed like a good idea at the time. I didn't think it would backfire on me at all. Anyway, don't complain about the lies I'm telling.
そんなに言ってない
I didn't complain that much.
Well, fine.
Rather evil laugh I went with.
That was a rather evil laugh that she went with. I began to get suspicious of her and her soup-eating ways with a spoon. I spoke to Torta again, this time to talk about the day and to apologize. Let's see if I talk to her directly or if I just mention it offhand to you, the viewer. I did say it directly. Thanks for today.
Yeah,
これでいいよ
thanks for this chocolate.
I think I deserve a bit more thanks in return. I thanked you for the very life you gave to me and for the existence of the universe upon this day. And you turn around and thank me only for a cup of chocolate? A cup of chocolate that is supplied by this school even. It's so cheap.
好きだもんそれに結局見つからなかったしね
It's not like you did anything else today.
It's a very good point. I mentioned how I literally slept through the first half of the day, where there were conversations, lessons, and everything.
ああひどい
Yeah,
私の案が
so
ダメだっ
stop
て言う
getting
の
mad at me for not thanking you for the universe when you didn't do anything.
Fine. Thanks for the day. The truth was, I wasn't thankful at all. Every moment of every day is suffering. Why do you only ask the male students? It was probably a little intrusive of me to ask about her like that, but I wanted to know why she wanted male so much. I had thought it would be easier to ask that, but the words never came out quite right. I mean, if it's just that you have a lot of male friends, it's okay, but it's hard to become friends with packages and envelopes. I said it nonchalantly, like it's something you would just ask anyone why they're friends with male objects, but it's really difficult when you think about it.
Oh, that?
Torta put down the cup she'd been eating from with a spoon and faced me.
どうしてそ
Well,
んなこと聞く
I mean, the thing is, I've been writing this fanfic, and it specifically requires a scene, but I've never seen anyone act it out before, and I thought maybe if I paired you up with one of my male friends, that maybe you would lick a stamp or something, and then I would know how to write that.
Licking a stamp for a male friend. There's no way that could be taken out of context in a fanfiction situation. I proposed that this would be something I'd be happy to do. The last male student would be the one that I would lick the stamp for. And that student didn't even know Tortilla's name. I knew we needed to find this last male student so that I could lick their stamp and mail their package.
あ、ひょっとして焼き餅？
Are you jealous of my fanfic?
Jealous of a fan fiction about stamps? I couldn't admit this in front of her right away.
認めちゃうんだ。
Yes, admit it.
She must have seen through my ruse. Maybe about a third of it is, as you say, Torta, but that means there's 2/3 that's something completely different. Or perhaps it's just the way that I feel while I'm awake at home. The time that I'm awake at school is the other third of the day, and the last third is when I sleep.
変に具体的だね。
That's
半分とか。
oddly specific.
Well, I do chop my day into 3 very specific and very equal thirds.
それで2つだね。
Right, but you've only told me about one of them. What are the other 2?
What I do on my own time is none of your business.
あ
Oh, I mean,
あ。
I
一年の頃
suppose
その講義
that's
を受けてた時
true.
どこかで見たことないかなとか思って。
If you say no, we can't continue the conversation into it, yes.
That's a good point. I suppose if you're going to know how I'm going to lick a stamp, I'm going to need to be more honest with you about the other parts of my private life.
Oh no, what did I sign myself up for?
Well, I was about to tell her about this fairy I live with, whose name is Fornication. But that seemed like that might be a little bit too quick. So I decided to instead tell her about my sweet tats.
そんなわけないでしょ。
You've got sweet tats?
Yeah, I've got this gigantic Totoro which takes up a fully third of my back.
自分で言わないの。
Oh wow, that's awesome. Can I see?
Well, it would mean I have to take off my shirt in the cafeteria, which is something that people do normally.
それでもダメ。
Do it.
Okay, stand totally still.
あのね
I'm standing incredibly still. Look at me standing very still.
Okay, here comes the tattoo. Pulling into the station.
噂。
So the rumors were true.
The one about me having a Totoro tattoo? Yeah, you didn't believe it, did you?
I mean, I was talking about the one where you'd show your tattoo to anyone, but, you know.
How could it be just any? Well, that's true. You are the first person who I've shown my sweet new tattoo to. However, you are also one of the only people alive. So as long as I don't show my tattoo to anyone else, then I'll be correct.
焼き餅が10分の1くらい。
Jealousy is an ugly emotion. Or so the shows I watch on TV keep trying to tell me.
Sorry, I just noticed there was some Purell on the monitor. Yes.
それも幼馴染としてのだからね。
Are you... Shut up!
Torta, I'm gonna have to shut up now.
信じてなくても嫌なことって
Things
あ
you
るでし
don't
ょ
believe, but are afraid of, right? Like, you don't believe in them, but you're definitely afraid of them, right?
Like God?
いいから
I mean, just answer the question. Well, do you believe in God or not?
This is a very deep question for a dating game like this. Let's see here.
I mean, I don't think that was the actual question, but that's the one we're answering.
Would God make a town so wet that even he couldn't dry it? No. This city is without God. I don't think I can believe in a city that would rain this much and contain this much fryer oil.
That's a good point. There is an awful amount of fryer oil that really just isn't conceivable.
I mean, it's probably true that maybe there's a god in other cities, but definitely not here.
信じてな
Oh,
くて
so
も
gods can
で
exist
きれば噂とは
in
無縁
other
の位置にい
places,
てほ
but
しい
not here.
I didn't say that. I just meant that God isn't here right now. However, if there were perhaps a different god, perhaps it's time for Batman to become a god himself. Well, I suppose if I were a god, then maybe I'd make it rain less.
そういうこと
Listen, Batman, I don't think we're in good omens. I'm not sure it can happen that way.
Even so, God.
But I guess it's good to have goals in life, so why not?
Bat God. Yeah, I'll pray to become Bat God.
本当の意味で
But you said you didn't believe in God.
That's true. But here's the thing. God doesn't have to believe in himself. Only other people have to believe in him. You believe in me, right?
Are we going for one of those Japanese things where the more belief you have, the more of a god you are?
No, I mean, I don't need a shrine. It's just, I just need someone to believe in me.
But do you want a shrine?
Is that an offer? Imagine a friend who would build me a shrine to themselves. That's not weird in the slightest.
But
I mean, shrine?
もし神様がいるなら
do you want like a normal shrine or one of those Zelda Breath of the Wild type shrines? With the
I mean-
weird motion puzzles.
If you just got like a small medicine cabinet in your closet, you can put some candles in there and a picture of me, and that'll be a shrine. Just clap in front of it and like put in some incense once in a while.
Oh, you want one of those death
この世
shrines?
界で起こって
Are
い
you
る
about to die?
Well, people do keep saying the god is dead, so I guess that's how it works, right?
クリスはそう思わない
Well, if you say so.
It's true. I am God.
分かってる
I know.
ならいい
I
の
was just trying to be nice.
Well, if you want to be nice, then make me a tiny shrine and give me some risotto as an offering.
らしい
Risotto.
そうね
Fine, I guess I could get some risotto.
Seems to me that this is probably the most roundabout way I could use to get some risotto from my friend Tortilla, but it seemed to be working. She stood up and grabbed her empty cup as if to fill it with risotto for me.
じゃあそろそろ帰ろう
We should really head home.
Didn't seem like I was going to get that risotto after all. I'm home.
おかえり
Hello. You're late again. Did something else happen?
Absolutely not. Yet again, another day occurred where nothing happened to me. I mean, no. I tossed my bag into the room and wiped my hair with a towel by the door. I should really wash that towel. It's starting to smell.
またね
Is it still raining in this, the city of rain?
The fuck do you think?
飽きないわね
Yeah. I don't know. I just needed something to say.
I was really hoping you'd read what was on the screen so that I could mention that no one in this town gets old for some reason. We chatted a while, looking out the window, wondering why nobody gets old. Then I stuffed the towel into the laundry basket and washed the towel because it smelled bad.
それでどうしてこんなの遅
So,
かったの
explain why you're late?
I didn't want to wipe my head down with that wet towel, so I kept putting it off for too long.
へえ
Oh.
見つかっ
So you finally figured out where the laundry is.
Well, not really. But I do have a full basket, so it seems a bit more important to find a laundry machine. My method of searching isn't that good.
探し方
Method of searching?
Yeah, you know, when you go outside and you open your eyes so that you can see the things? I'm doing that. But whenever I walk around, I can't see a laundromat.
You know what we can see though? I can see a commercial break coming.
How do you see that?
I'm a fairy. I can see all kinds of
それがなん
things.
だ
That makes sense. Well, sounds like a commercial break seems like a good thing to have right now.
それはね
That's just like Tortilla,
トルタらしいね。
wanting commercials.
It's true. Tortilla is a big fan of advertisement for some reason. Tortilla was reliable, but she loved commercials. For some reason, she wanted to be in advertising. Forney had met Tortilla, though not many times. I talked about Tortilla so much that Forney was just really sick of it at this point.
でもさ、
Ah,
クリスを思ってのことなんだ
but she does do it for
感謝
you,
しなくちゃね。
so we should be grateful.
Yeah, she really does do it for me. I didn't know what it was that she did for me, but I figured it'd be easier to agree with her than ask for an explanation. Forney seemed to think the same way about our Irie, who I also talked about quite a bit. But then I told Forney about my day, as always.
Swipe, swipe.
あんまり実りのない
Well, it's
一日だ
kind
った
of the
ね
same day as normal, isn't it?
Having listened to everything, Forney didn't look bored. In fact, she looked happy. She seemed to relish it when I didn't do anything. And then she said things like that, but enjoyed hearing about the day outside anyway. I guess so. All right, I'll make dinner.
今日は何？
What are you making for dinner?
Fried chicken.
Sounds about right. It's dark out now. You can see it in the window.
You-
It's just utter blackness.
I ate, and then the day ended, as always. Wouldn't it be weird if the day didn't end?
Rain got loud.
Yeah, kind of weird. Then it went away. All right, and that's where we're going to give ourselves a short break. Don't go away. But wait, we should probably.
You want to do before or after?
You know what? Let's do it right. Whoa.
Let's just do them at the end.
Yeah, we'll do them at the end. You're gonna have to wait till the end to have your name read out.
Bye.
Yeah. That's the correct side.
We are back.
And it is time for Dice Embrace, which I believe is the month of role-playing games.
Well, and some board games.
Oh, yes,
But
yes.
not card games. That
Nope.
comes up later in like March.
And certainly not video games. If there's one thing about December I know, it's that nobody ever gets video games in December.
No one ever buys video games
Nope.
in December.
Nope, nope. It's the worst
Not
time.
not for big gift things, and certainly not for nobody schedules any games to pop up at that point. Never.
It is a month for buying dice, for having dice, for playing with dice, and for cooking with diced food. Potatoes nice and small. How big do you dice when you dice?
What am I dicing?
Let's say potatoes.
Potatoes, I'll leave a little bit bigger
Oh, okay.
because I like they should taste like potatoes.
Carrots?
But carrots I like thinner.
Oh,
They
okay.
cook through better, I think. Onions I like relatively small.
Yeah, about half, quarter of an inch is I think the
Yeah.
number I'd like.
Although, like, I'll go back and forth between dicing into very small chunks or like slices. But if I'm doing slices, we're doing like half slices because it's just easier to cut it in half and then have it on its side when you cut.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that whole thing where you leave the one end of the onion connected and just kind of cut through, and then you can just dice it along
Yeah,
the bias.
but it is going to kind of boil down to what the dish itself is because like peppers I like sticks, but for in certain foods I like them in smaller pieces. So
Interesting. Yeah. We usually do our
depends.
peppers cubed.
yeah, cubed
Diced.
peppers.
Well, no,
Diced.
they're bigger in surface area than diced. I like to think diced as an equilateral cube on all sides.
Oh, okay, okay.
And peppers just can't get thick enough to be diced at the size I like. So they've got to be, I guess, not wedges. What do you even call that? I finished my morning practice as always and finished eating. Torta seemed to have just finished eating too, and was staring at me kind of like she wanted to know what I was going to eat next. What?
これからどうするの？
What are you gonna eat next?
Well, I was hoping for some of that risotto, but that seems to be something I'll never, ever get to eat. I mean, I'm just getting started waiting for your risotto, so I'll look for a partner without rushing it. But the wait for risotto will go on forever.
I hate to tell you this, Chris, but now that we're in December, risotto is not on the menu anymore. We've now moved on to pizza pies.
No! Who would dice something on a pizza pie? Well, I guess other than ham. The pineapples, you want the tiny wedges? If you cut those in half, that's kind of pointless, isn't it? I've found that there's a certain size and shape of pineapple that you want on your pizza to get the maximum flavor from it, to allow it to spend some time caramelizing underneath the oven heat, but still be bursting with flavor. I see that thrown back, so why would you dice tomatoes on a pizza? You want nice wedges, or perhaps whole. If it's gonna be like a, I don't know, one of those margarita pizzas.
People who like diced tomatoes, people who like tomatoes can have all the tomatoes, as long as I don't have to eat the tomatoes.
Are you afraid of the deadly nightshade?
I don't like tomatoes, really. Unless it's in ketchup form, then that is fine.
Tomatoes, ketchup. I had no idea they were the same fruit. I pondered the ketchup for a while.
Well, let's go with, 3.
Hey! 1, 2, 3.
I didn't want to make you go through, like, 23. That
That's
seems
good.
a lot.
I needed to look for a partner, but the next thing I knew, I was at the practice rooms. Why would I go there? I didn't think anything good would come from rushing things. Because Russian things are generally badly put together. So, I thought I should practice a song.
Practice
a song.
Yeah!
We finally did it!
We found it!
Thorny!
It's like the last one.
Yep. Hey, Miss Batman, and I'm here to say I like risotto in a major way. I'm gonna eat it even if it's on the floor because it's delicious and I wanna eat more because tortilla makes the best risotto. It's one thing that I know, but if you have to stir, you better not ask her because in December there's no risotto. That's the time for pizza, don't you know? She doesn't like tomatoes on her pie. That's things that you need to know why if you're gonna make pizza. Things that go on top of a pizza, like pineapple, I like pepperoni. I like things that are not phony, things that are real and not imaginary, things that you can put on pizza like Harry Scary. If I keep going on like this, it's gonna be a major miss on my pizza and on my song. I can't keep going on singing this. I might miss a couple of my notes. That might be something that I regret. Because you know I like it so. Pizza and risotto in my mouth is that I need to survive. Because if you don't eat food, you're going to die very quickly. But don't worry, you still need to drink some water too.
You're doing quite good at the rhythm portion.
You need to drink. In addition to eat. And also, sometimes you need to breathe air out. In. Respiration is how we breathe. Yeah.
I really thought you were going to say respiration is your friend.
Well, I mean, if you'd like to go ahead and try and make an entire
I
song
think
well
you did
played.
very well.
Whew, okay, that's it. I finished playing the song, and after a while, the normal silence returned to the practice room.
That is what happens. Yes.
When you stop making noise, silence happens. Let's try it. And stop.
I thought we were playing that rhythm heaven game.
Oh, yeah. Silence eventually came. I was doing pretty well today. I didn't have anything to worry about there. As I thought about that, I remembered Miss Cordell's angry face and laughed my ass off. Now then, I took the sheet music from the stand and put it in my bag, and then I left.
I thought that was the game for a minute, and I was just like, did we power up?
Pale light shone through the clouds, and I leveled up because I played music so well. I was pretty sure the next time I had a conversation with a girl, I'd win the conversation. Normally I wouldn't have to win the conversation, because conversations aren't a thing that need to be won or lost. But this is a game world, and in the game world, you play to win. But now I had to choose a partner, and I couldn't go home early without finding a robin. Realizing that a robin would have to be a person, and not just a bird, I stopped trying to catch wet birds in the field, and hurried back towards the city. This was new. After walking away from the school for a while, I came to the main road that divided the city in two. It's the same city, but I guess it's an arbitrary separation.
Did we decide to put a roof on this part of the town, but we're like, water can't get in, so have a fountain?
Yep. It's raining outside, but we need to make sure it rains inside. At least the outside that's inside the inside that we've created. The apartment I lived was on the good side of this arbitrary town. The new district was on the other side, and it sucked. Because I had almost no connections on that side. Once I left the main road to the east, I was in the part of town that was good. Because I lived there, and I protected it. The windows and rows of buildings were full of intact glass because of my protections. And at night, you could hear people not breaking windows. As the rain bounced off the cobblestone streets, which were also intact thanks to my protections, I let the rain pass into my ears. Ow! I shouldn't have done that. The rain is very loud. Then I came home.
あ、おかえり。
Hey.
今日は早かったね。
Oh, you're early for once.
Well, I didn't talk to any girls today.
Swipe. Swipe.
Then it became night. I told Forney about my fairly uneventful day. I woke up, forgot that I was awake, woke up again, practiced the music, went to the part of town that's the middle, and then came here. The end. Then I made dinner as I always did and fell asleep.
Fade.
The end.
Fade.
Back to school, and it was the second day of the dice month. Practicing food.
Practicing food?
practicing food. Practicing food. I passed the same day like I always did with practicing food.
それで調子はどうなの？
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I'm awake this time, so good.
なんか嘘っぽいこと
That sounds great.
You'll have to believe me.
こんなに
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
はいはい
Yep, yep.
分かってるって
I know.
So did you catch Colbert last night?
じゃ
Oh,
あ
I missed that. I was busy watching last week tonight. What was it like?
Well, he's showing off his new tattoo designs.
Oh, I missed out on new tattoo designs.
I guess Torta was gonna leave to go check out the tattoo designs at the the tattooery.
Tattooery.
She was gonna get a tattoo tortilla. Or a TT.
Tatooine would have been so much more interesting if it just been a planet full of tattoo artists.
Wow!
We can only go one place.
Yep. Oh,
No matter all the numbers we choose.
can't select using this
Nope.
keyboard.
Gotta use the music note.
A bad game.
Gotta go to the haunted old wing.
The old Wang. The coffin room. Well, good thing we checked in the coffin room.
Wow. Well, that was fun.
Oh, good, the vampires were still inside the coffins, so it was safe to enter the old Wang. I knew that some of the faces of the passing students, which meant they weren't vampires. The vampires didn't have faces and had to take them off the walls, usually from paintings, which is why most of the vampires looked like Colonel Sanders, because that's the only painting that we have. And rather than taking the faces back from the vampires, we just let them keep them and put up a new picture. I managed to gaze into the face of one student, nod slightly, and pass on by. I wonder what they thought I was thinking of when I did that. Despite making up my mind to stop searching for the day, I still found myself walking outside. I'm a bit of an idiot. Of course, I didn't like getting wet in the rain, but as I mentioned, I'm a bit of an idiot. But not so much of an idiot that I couldn't feel the chill of the droplets that wet my skin and distorted my view when I got the rain in my eyes. So I blinked and went back to the old way. I didn't feel like leaving the school just yet, and before I knew it, I was in a place I didn't recognize. It's not that I didn't know where it was, it's just that by this point in the morning, I was extremely drunk. With the noise of the school far away, and a fifth of vodka in my veins, a tranquil atmosphere enveloped the place. Off the tree-lined path that connected the gate and the school buildings, down a narrow path thickly covered with trees, was the old Wang.
The many musicians who graduated from Peelville Community School of Music and Fast Food increased the prestige of its name over time. The number of students increased accordingly, and as facilities were expanded, the original building became cramped and obsolete. So, with the help of the government and many aristocrats, the first and second halls of the concert hall were built. The government assisted to help the country's rich culture permeate into the rest of the world the way the smell of deep-fried chicken permeates within the walls of any KFC. The aristocrats must feel some pride that culture has spread as well, even if it smells like chicken. And now, there are many children of the aristocrats among the students, and for some reason people are beginning to question whether or not they should be receiving the free ride that they do.
And the original school building wasn't even demolished, but left as a free space for the students to use. So, naturally, a lot of people just came here to get drunk. It was regularly cleaned by the pianos that came to life at night, because I'm not walking back that sentence once I walk into it. In fact, I'm sure I hadn't been here since I'd come in just for fun with us, shortly after entering the school, because I was afraid that the pianos might come to life and eat me. I am a piece of human garbage after all. I had no reason to come by since then, and, well, because I didn't know where I was, I ended up coming here. Wow! I was a little curious about the building because I didn't remember it, because now it's hard to form memories when you're packed to the gills with alcohol. And even though it could be used freely, some students decided to come to the front door and charge admission. Thankfully, I had a coupon.
Silence.
Then I vaguely heard a singing voice amongst the sounds of the rain.
La la la
There was definitely a student in there singing.
la
I knew it was a student because pianos can't sing.
la la.
It was a trivial thing that I normally would have ignored, but I was feeling drunk on justice and vodka, and I
Singing
decided to
is
stop this
happening.
illegal singing.
Here, right now. Singing.
Other than the voice I could hear, the place was silent, so it was safe from the pianos. The voice, along with some light, was spilling from a slightly open door.
Spilling voice.
It's a strange
Spilling.
statement to make, given that light is a wave of electromagnetic radiation, whereas voice, while it does vibrate like a wave, is just a pressure wave of sounds moving through the air.
Singing voice. Spilling around like jam on the floor. Do do do.
And then, revealed in a lens flare, was this girl who for some reason had a concave eye. Concave being the one that goes in like a cave. Convex is the other one, the way normal eyes are. She threw herself into the song that filled the classroom, and the song, being just a bunch of sounds, refused to catch her, and she clattered to the floor like a bag of bones. I wasn't an expert on vocals, but I knew that you couldn't expect a song to catch you.
All the jam is on the floor. It's great. Give me more. All the jam on the floor. Give me more, more, more.
My interest was piqued about this song about jam. My fingers naturally moved as if pressing keys, and I imagined writing her name on a piece of paper to make a letter. As she finished the song and I imagined what her name might be, I felt as if I could write her name at any time. Girl. The song itself was pretty complicated, but it was beautiful, and it was made by striking her voice. Ah! The song was probably made for vocals, so the Fortinell parts would sound really shitty.
Mix the jam around on the floor. Get some more and skate. Board.
I thought of this as I drew closer to the door and she began quickly turning around, spinning and spinning as if she was trying to sing in all directions, like an organ that has a Wurlitzer amplifier. Yes, I remembered the name of the speaker. That's a Hammond organ. She spun around like a Hammond organ is what I'm trying to say.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Batman.
Huh?
She must have never heard of Batman before. I didn't mean to intrude. The door was open. I'm sorry. Even after my apology for no reason, she didn't move. Maybe she thought my vision was based on movement, but she was wrong. I could see her like any normal human being, the light of the world reflecting off of her in various frequencies and entering my eyeball, my convex eyeball. Is something wrong with your eyes? She looked slightly afraid, and she was still gazing at me with her strange concave eyeballs. I started to feel sorry for her. Maybe she couldn't see normally. I backed out of the door to leave. Perhaps she'd be able to see me if I walked backwards. And then she grabbed her bag and slipped between me and the door as if she was waiting to leave.
Excuse me.
Oh, an earthquake!
Ah.
She said something in Egyptian and ran down the hall. textbooks and sheet music spilled from her open bag, and she fell on her bottom next to them.
Oh no!
Is your bottom okay? I didn't think I was in the wrong, but I couldn't say if I was completely without fault. I spoke to her concerned about her bottom, but all the while feeling slightly indignant. Can I help you? But she just looked up at me and didn't speak. And in her eyes, tears started to well up. They wouldn't have welled up if her eyes were convex like normal people, but because they were concave, they formed bowls into which the tears could pool. I just heard your voice and came to see. I spoke gently to her, like this, picked up the scattered sheet music and held it out to her, gently. I'll get out of your way now. Here you are.
Huh?
She just stared at the sheet music, but didn't take it. It's like she didn't know that it was hers. Perhaps the earthquake and the strange Egyptian hieroglyphics that she spoke caused a spell to forget herself. It's your sheet music. You own it. I placed the music at her feet, thinking to just leave. But I felt like that would be too cold-hearted.
Huh?
Okay, I'll leave it here, and I'll back away slowly so as not to startle you. I wanted to ask her about her singing. I was very curious about the taste of the jam, but she was, I guess, avoiding me by not moving at all, so the conversation wouldn't have gotten very far. Which meant that it would be best for me to leave her without doing anything else. Much like a little bird, if you get your scent on people, then people will not think that they belong to themselves. I'm sorry if your music smells like someone else now.
ありがとうございます
Thanks.
She finally took the music I was holding out in her small white hand. The hand was shaking slightly and white. Don't worry about it. It was my fault for barging in like that. Was she really just surprised? Or did she have a butt concussion? I'm sorry, bottom concussion. But I didn't think I could just press her about it. Applying more pressure to a concussion patient is probably a bad idea. It wouldn't be good for her mind. Your singing's good. That's my opinion. You can't have it. Okay, I'll be going now. And as she stood up and brushed the dust off of her clothes, I bowed slightly to her and put my hand on the door. Would you like me to not hold the door closed so that you can leave? I turned around in the direction of her voice behind me. She still had her eyes averted from my face and faltered as she tried to say something. The awkwardness was not going to be dissipated by itself, so I urged her on with a gentle voice. Is something wrong?
Well, it's just because my eyes are concave. I kind of view the world in the way that kind of those really weird clown mirrors work. And, you look a little different.
Am I fucked up like tall or just jacked up wide?
It's more like a weird hourglass. So your head's very long, wide.
A weird hourglass shape, you say?
Yeah.
Like I'm some sort of time-telling device.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
You're right. She was right. I was confused about what my life was like, thinking that I was some sort of timepiece, that my thoughts would flow from my head into my butt, passing the time, and that once I was out of thoughts, I'd have to walk around on my hands until my head was full again. Even though there was no reason for me to think this, I decided to apologize. Wait, don't worry, I'll soon have head thoughts again.
Uh-huh.
Then she went silent again. I could tell this was probably going to be a thing with her. Just what was I supposed to do here? Lay on my side so that I didn't lose my thoughts where they were supposed to be in my head and not in my butt where I couldn't think them? Or can you think from your butt? And if so, would she have problems with her bottom thoughts after falling on them? Since she was talking to me, either she was having bottom thoughts or having head thoughts.
Blink.
There wasn't really any we need to talk further. We had to go into butt communication mode. But I was a little concerned about how the way she'd react to that.
Blink, blink.
She didn't look like her at all. Wait.
Blink.
What the fuck is going on? At the time,
Blink.
Irene was down on herself for being the only one that
Blink.
didn't have any musical talent, so she assumed that everything was her fault.
Blink, blink.
Because people without musical talent can't do anything. Of
Blink.
course, that was a long time ago, and now that Irene had found something to be proud of, and no longer felt like that, well, her attitude made it so that I couldn't just leave.
Wow, this guy is like standing here and just looking at me for a very long time while I look at him. Whew.
Why are you practicing in the place with the scary piano monsters?
Well,
私
I don't like crowds.
You don't like Gatchaman crowds? Well, that's one of the best anime from the early 2000s. It was really clumsy at the time, but when I watched it a few years later, I believe the Gatchaman crowds really was one of the first anime to properly use CG animation in a way that didn't seem weird.
あと
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. I only watched the first episode.
That's surprising. You spoke about it with such high hopes that I thought you'd seen the whole thing. This is Ian talking, by the way, to Heather, and not Batman talking.
No,
to
I definitely have. It just didn't. I didn't know how to make her hate
Oh,
crowds.
I'm sorry. It's difficult, because there's so much of us going into these characters. Ellipses. An awkward silence pervaded the space between us. And an awkward silence pervaded the space between us. It seemed to be a habit for her to apologize. The character one. You don't have to apologize so much. You could use those lines for something else if you'd like.
どうしてここに
Why are you here?
Well, it's my job to come to the moon base on Sundays and stream a show called Rhythm Cafe.
そうですか
I see.
Generally, it has games that are rhythm games, but once in a while, we'll try a visual novel because they claim to have rhythm elements. Sometimes they lie.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I said it's a little joke, but the fact is, at this moment, it was very true. I started to wonder if we'd ever be playing a rhythm game again. You should keep the door closed from now on. You never know when someone's gonna show up in the friend zone and just get really loud and ruin the recording. I tried to leave after finishing, but it was still 10 minutes to 6, and I had some gameplay to go through.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should keep the doors open to the cafe, at least for another 10 minutes.
You don't have to apologize.
Okay.
Super ellipses. I almost got angry for a second, but I suppressed it.
Because you're Batman.
I saw her as Irie. Not in the Rastafarian sense of her being Irie, but as Irie, the person whose name is Irie. Shaka Bra. And the more I Shaka Bra'd on that, the more difficult it became to remain Irie. She might have thought it was nothing, but really, it was quite difficult to remain Irie in the face of such aggravating situations. But if my words could change something, Irietta was able to change after all. I just needed to change the subject. At the very least, I no longer wanted to leave and put my hand back on the door. As long as she didn't make any obviously unhappy faces, we would stay. This is Batman's idea of a date. So anyway, do you believe in God? I tried to move on to a safer topic. It was just a social greeting for any students meeting for the first time. For some reason, the question of whether or not she believed in God surprised her. She must have been surprised by the sudden change of subject, and not the question. I mean, I'm trying to be a god. Am I wrong?
Oh no. No, I'm a first year god.
Oh,
In God studies.
I see. If you're a first year, then what's your god homework like?
Well, I've got 3 term papers due by Friday.
That's pretty tough.
Nah, I mean, they're short.
Well, I mean, papers will probably be good papers if they're short. Do you write them yourself?
Well, I'm trying something new. I was thinking of singing them out loud.
Interesting. So God is the jam, right? At that point, I wasn't sure if she believed in God or not. If she did, maybe she was saying that God was her jam. But if she didn't, you'd think the jam was better than God. I could have gone either way at this point, so I figured I'd ask her about it, or at least praise her on her decisiveness. Anyone who would believe in jam higher than God surely had a strong sense of self. Of course, that kind of sense of self wasn't in my plan. But I did genuinely feel that it was a beautiful choice.
Oh, I see. You're confused.
I was very confused as to what looked like a very smile appearing on the face of the girl, whose name I did not know. Hi, I'm Batman, a third-year Fortel student. Would you like to play together sometime? Relieved at being able to ask her for a play date. I would like to see where this goes. It seemed pretty promising.
What?
She froze like a small animal. Did I say something wrong? I said, would you like to go on a play date with me? I said it louder, so in case you didn't hear me the first time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the portable device. That I'm gonna go home and play with. You know, the play date.
Oh. Yeah, that is wait, how'd you get one? Are you a developer? Not wanting to press too hard, I put her out of my mind and relegated myself to the playdate, to the fact that the playdate wouldn't be released until sometime in 2022. Will you come back here? She turned around and stopped.
No.
Well, fuck. What?
リセ
Listen.
You almost said listen.
No, my name. It's Listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
Bye!
She told me to listen, as if she was going to say her name. Does that mean that her name is the sound of rain? She didn't look very angry, and she said that she wasn't coming back. If her name was Listen, or her name was Rain, how could that be? Because it always rains, which means I'm always listening. And if she's always the rain never has to come back because it's always here. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. I peeked back out the window to see the rain had gotten lighter. Not sure how I could tell. It was probably time to get home, because I don't do fucking much in this game. I wandered home, remembering their voice and that song.
Jam, jam, jam. Put it on the floor. Eat some more.
今日も帰りが遅かったね。
Hi, you're
やっ
late
ぱり練
again.
習してたの？
I don't know why I even bring that up anymore.
No, but I heard a jam song. I wiped my head with the towel in the entryway and put my bag down. The towel smelled fresh, and I was relieved. I ended up not even touching my foretell, which was good because I left it covered in poison from the night before in case someone had tried to steal it. But I did hear a good song, so it wasn't a complete waste of a day.
ねえねえ、今日は
You
何
know
が
we're
あ
not
ったの？
supposed to be touching our faces right now, and yet I face palmed so hard so many times during this stream. Did something happen today?
As I said, I heard a really good song.
変わったこと？
Something different? About jam, maybe?
And so I basically just glossed over the rest of my usual interaction with 40, and another day came to a close. Much like I think this stream of Rhythm Cafe is about to come to a close.
You know what happens on the 4th of December? You're allowed 3 dice and 1 stress die.
Oh, good. Whew. With 5 long days over, I took Saturday and Sunday off.
From
School. Or eating.
why do you have the drawing pen?
Oh, the wing thing?
Yeah.
So
That doesn't seem. I guess you didn't seem like a person who draws.
So here's the thing. My understanding is that the wing is actually used to brush things off of things that you're working on, like eraser shavings and excess graphite.
Yes, but I've seen. I mean, that's cool. You know, but you know you can get like little cars that you run over eraser filings and they pick them up and they look really cute.
That sounds even better.
Yeah.
Why would anyone bother with a feather? You'd have to kill a bird for a feather. Why would you do that when you could have a tiny car?
You can't wait for the bird to just get rid of its feathers.
Why would a bird do that?
Sometimes they don't like them.
I'd much rather kill a giant car and take one of the tiny cars.
You don't have to kill a giant car. You just have to take one of their little car eggs.
Oh, you just like shave a bit of car off?
Yeah.
With car eggs?
Yeah, cars hatch out of small eggs, which is why the cars are this big. And then after about 5 years, they get that big.
I've never seen a car nest before. Where do they lay their eggs?
Parking lots.
Probably at night when no one goes there.
They like the rooftop ones particularly, but sometimes you can get the gated ones.
Right, that's how.
There's different species.
That's right. They like the rooftop ones so that the little baby cars can fly away in the night, so they're not caught by all of our by people.
The thing you have to watch out for is sometimes the adult cars push the baby cars out of the nest to see if they can fly,
Oh no!
but they do rescue them with their helicopter friends. Because if the car can fly, I mean, it's a different kind of car.
Yes. This has been Rhythm Cafe here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name's Batman. We'd like to thank you for watching today. Specifically, we'd like to thank all of you who are watching, be it those of you who are watching at home and not saying anything in the chat. Also, a big shout out to those of you watching on YouTube after the fact or at the VODs. If you'd like to watch this again in the future, check it out at Loading Ready Run. Wait, no, youtube.com/loadingreadylive. Loadingreadyrun.com is our website, and if you go to loadingreadyrun.com/live, there's a schedule of all of our upcoming shows there, and one that you can download to your own mobile device. If you'd like to check out our magic content, we sequester that over at loadingreadyrun.com/ not that. We sequester it at youtube.com/LRRMTG.
You can remember it very easily. Just have to yell it very loud. Put the jam on the floor. youtube.com/LRMTG.
Put the jam on the floor.
Yeah.
And then all of our other contents at youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. What else is there to talk about?
There's the upcoming streams.
There are. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. I have to leave this up for a couple seconds so that
Booth.
upcoming.
Also talking about how you need to leave time. It's gonna kick that out.
So yeah, Play It Forward's coming on Monday. Graham's gonna be playing Final Fantasy VII again.
The first one.
He's probably gonna be doing
Not
this.
the remake one.
No.
As far as I know.
Then Dice Friends will happen in the evening. It's gonna be that one with the alien heat death again, with my good friend Ian Horner, Cameron Lauder, Coriander Dickinson, Ben Ulmer, and the big one.
Alex?
No, Adam Savin.
Oh, wait,
And
did you
also
say
Alex. No, I didn't say
Okay.
Alex, but also Alex Stacy. And then after that will be nighttime, my time. But in the morning, 9 o'clock will return with James. I almost said Stone, who's a very different person.
James Turner.
Thank you.
Of the famous YouTubers and Pokemon fame, not really, but of the hashtag is Minecrafting.
Yep. And then Disco Elysium returns for the final time. This time not for playing, only for talking about Untalking Simulator.
Yeah. What's the namesake?
They've made a promise. Just like Let's Nope has made a promise to play the various Silent Hill games. And they're gonna do that. And that's the end of Tuesday, I think. No. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't need to talk about those other days. Those other days, we've already told you where you can find them.
Here on Rhythm Cafe, Tuesday is the only day that matters. Because every day is Tuesday. Also, we have some people to thank here on the channel. People who have been generous enough to give us their bits and also subscriptions. People like Temporarily Awry, who subscribed for 23 months.
Okay.
No, I'm not okay.
And it's Sniper Pumpkin, who has subscribed for 52 months, a whole year. Wait a minute.
Lord Hosk says click while subscribing for 55 months. Thank you, Hosk.
Mox Hagdorm is there for 29 months. I don't know much about magic myself, but Moxes are supposed to be good, so good for you.
After a hella stressful weekend, time to unwind with my favorite cafe. Thanks for being here, friendos, says DM Jessus. I believe in Jessus.
E-Block has cheered with 210 bits.
Happy
Little dog.
Happy Cafe Day. Hope everyone's staying safe during this time. Thanks, Sunniest, for that 27-month subscription message.
And thank you, Pharaoh Bender, for subscribing Tacticus Vigil to the channel.
Thank you to Cuddlefish Man for 38 months of subscription. What a good stream.
Pharaoh Bender has cheered with 300 bits. Apparently, Canicolo is either another word for coterie or an old-fashioned term for an upstairs dining room.
Luenris Saka subscribed for 11 months. Thank you.
And Friend Train is resubscribing. Thank
Hooray,
you.
thank you. Movie Tioni T has subscribed. Wait.
Movie Nation.
Movie Nation. Nope. Movie Nation YT has subscribed thanks to Pharaoh Bender.
And Pharaoh Bender has also subscribed. Lethio Breaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Pharaoh Bender, for giving a subscription to Eric the Orange.
And thank you, Pharaoh Bender, for subscribing. Letho Breaker. Oh, okay, no, they're spelled differently. Breaker again. Different one. One without an E.
Also, thank you to KLF, who has subscribed for 10 months.
And Pharaoh Bender, thank you for subscribing. Rack Larls.
Martizol has subscribed for 21 months. Thank you.
Nustios for 9 months. Welcome back.
And thank you to Carrie G137 for a subscription that they gifted to Sendato, who is a new subscriber. I think that's all how it works. Yes.
Robo Nixon has been back for the 45th month, saying life advice with Ian and Heather. I don't think anything we said over this stream especially should be used for life.
Absolutely
Unless
not.
they said something really profound than that.
Contingent Cat gives us the nice golf clap.
Feathertail 38 is back for 35 months.
And Banrail has cheered us with 200 bits for...
Thank you, Carl Sagan. Ian.
Rain 2123. That is a year far in the future. Has been subscribed for 8 whole months.
Shatton88 has subscribed for 18 months. That's 3 times 6 months, which is half a year.
Bevolio has subscribed for 31 months. Thank you for a lovely set of parasocial interactions.
And Red Boomer 2000 subscribed for 4 months in a row, not saying a single thing.
That doesn't say boomer.
Red Bomber. Thanks, Bomber.
E-Block has cheered with 190 bits. House of Lies.
S.A. You are subscribed for 47 months. Stay safe, everyone.
Ganja Shimada for 19 months. Yeah.
And Munchlax Regrets Nothing subscribed for 27 months. Whoop whoop in before close. And that's the close of subs.
That's one of them people who comes in just as the store's about to close. But in this case, it's a better thing. Average retail. Retail's scary.
Yeah. Heather, where can people find you if they're not here on this channel?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/LunarJade. In fact, you can find me probably roughly in an hour on that channel. And over at what we call the bad site Twitter, over at LunarJade. Batman, where can you find your friend Ian?
People can find Ian over on the bad site Twitter at iHorner, or find links to all his stuff and that of Corey as well over at tilty.house. We guarantee that's a very valid URL. You should put that in your web browser of choice, Alfred. And that brings us to a close of today's Rhythm Cafe. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us once again. We'll see you in a week's time.
Ajik Nightmare Moose, thank you for that 3-month resub.
Goodbye. Wait. Yeah,
we need to color code these or something.
Absolutely. I think you need to go back to the exploit.
Exploit, okay. And this one?
I think that one takes us there at least. Yeah.
Good night, everybody.